Howdy, folks. When he was just a boy, he watched westerns with his dad. Those memories of his pa were the best he ever had. He longed for the life of the Old West, out on his own and free. So he traded in his beat-up Pinto for a shiny new RV. He's John Waynnabe. John Waynnabe. He said this town just ain't the same no more, and the people here, they surely don't like me. So he's headed out west toward the sunset to find a place that he can still be free. The life of a cowboy on the road in his gas-guzzling steed. Traveling the land in search of souvenirs and helping folks in need. He's John Waynnabe. John Waynnabe. John Waynnabe. John Waynnabe. Wynabego Warrior, the tale of John Waynnabe. When last we left our intrepid adventurer, he found himself in a heap of trouble. Shunned by the farmers' community, who thought him yeller as a result of the social media shaming he took at the hands of Dirty Steve Calloway. Our hero found himself on the outside looking in. You know, like an outsider. Made to feel unwelcome by all except Lizzie McCoy and her less than subtle advances. John awoke to the sound of voices outside his RV. Getting up, he aimed to remove the blemishes that tarnished his good name and show the good people of the Lonely Valley what kind of a man John Waynnabe is. The kind of a man that don't take kindly to coffee wasting and shirt ruining, quickly followed by public shame and humiliation on a high-speed global scale. I aim to remove the blemishes that have tarnished my good name and show the good people of this lonely valley what kind of a man John Waynnabe is. The kind of a man that don't take kindly to coffee wasting and howdy partner t-shirt ruining, quickly followed by public shame and humiliation on a high-speed global scale.
John, what were you doing? Standing in there trying to talk the yeller away?
What do you mean?
We've all been watching you through the window of your mobile residence. Standing there with your chest all puffed out, trying to look tough, speaking to yourself in what looked like a confident tone. What were you doing in there?
Well, I'll tell you what I was doing, Hatchet. You know, I reckon I'll tell everybody. Gather round, folks.
We're already gathered in a crowd-like fashion. Would it not make more sense for you to come to us rather than us come to you? So much less time and effort.
Not to mention coordination.
Would be needed for you to just take the 5 steps required to diminish the distance between us. What you're asking for is just plain inconsiderate. But at least it ain't yeller.
Ooh.
Besides, the volume and range of your voice is sufficient for addressing said crowd from your current location.
Oh. Well, I have something to say. I aim to remove the blemishes that have tarnished my good name and show you good people of this lonely valley what kind of a man John Waynnabe is. The kind of a man that don't take kindly to coffee wasting and howdy partner t-shirt ruining, quickly followed by public shame and humiliation on a high-speed global scale. And to prove it, I plan on leading a wagon train into town for supplies and to show that no-good low-down deal baron that we aren't afraid of him. And anyone willing to go is welcome to come with me. Except you, Hatchet.
Dag nabbit! Y'all is bound and determined to shield my young, impressionable eyes from the very real violence that unfortunately has become an everyday part of life in this society in which we all choose to live.
All right now, who's with me?
We was already going into town as a group. That was why we was all gathered here.
I know that's why I'm here. That's why I came.
Yeah, that's what the group email said to come here for.
Besides, I need milk.
I wouldn't mind digging through the dollar DVD bin.
And I need batteries for all my various electronical devices.
You mean this isn't the Downtrodden Community Farmers Convention with the mysterious and handsome drifter who was just trying to help as the keynote speaker?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You didn't get the new email about the emergency rescheduling till tomorrow at 4 on account of an impromptu wagon train into town for supplies in defiance of the face of the deal baron and his heavy-handed actions against our community?
No, but hey, now my schedule is open for the rest of the day. Can I just come with you?
Oh, great. Well, let's go.
All right, everybody, let's go!
The crowd begins to form up the wagon train and ready themselves for the perilous journey ahead. Axe approaches John to ask if he and his family can ride along with him.
Pardon me, John. Can me and my family come right along with you?
Well, it would be an honor to have you folks along. Hop on in.
I'm gonna go see if I can hurry Lizzie along. She's inside pitifying herself. That poor woman hardly slept a wink last night, cousin. She was worried sick about your well-being. So much so, all she did was pace the room all night saying your name. I think I saw Junior run off into the barn. You mind fetching him for me?
Well, not at all. I'll mosey on over and get him.
John moseyed over to the barn in search of young Hatchet McCoy, and did so without stumbling even once. Upon entering, John saw the widest, purest, prettiest light he had ever seen, pointed at an object in the ground, beckoning as if from on high to lay claim to the long-forgotten object, illuminated by the seemingly divine light. As John drew closer, it was as if the angels themselves started to sing. When he looked down and saw what was laying at his feet, he realized he had come face to face with his destiny. For laying there upon the ground, half buried in the dirt, was an old six-shooter. John knelt down and began to unearth the rest of the revolver, thinking that with a little love and care, it could be given a purpose once again after so many years.
You know, I bet with a little love and care it could be given a purpose once again after so many years.
Hey, John, what you doing? Do you always talk to yourself?
Oh, hey, Hatchet. I didn't see you up there. Would you mind turning off that unnecessarily bright flashlight? It's shining right in my eyes. So what you doing up there anyway, Hatchet?
Oh, I was just up here practicing my church singing and looking for Paul's girly magazines. You know, the ones with the full-color, high-gloss photos presenting temptation and airbrushed perfection. He told Ma he threw them away, but I seen him bring them out here instead. What you got there, John?
An old six-shooter I found buried here in the dirt. Come have a look for yourself.
Be right down. Let me see. Oh, wow! Can I hold it, John?
Sure. It's in no condition to be of any harm. Do you recognize it?
No, can't say that I do. But I bet Paul would know something about it.
Speaking of your paw, everyone's waiting for us. Let's go.
John, along with his new restoration project in the form of the old six-shooter he found, left the barn accompanied by Hatchet to see what all the ruckus was about, only to encounter Lizzie McCoy, who had finished prettifying herself, standing there in her new skin-tight dress that more than accentuated her ample bosom in the afternoon light.
Why, John, there you are. I've been standing here in my new skin-tight dress that more than accentuates my ample bosom in the afternoon light. What you got there, John?
Oh, just an old antique piece of hip iron I found in your barn. Does it look familiar to you?
Oh, well, I don't believe I've ever seen that thing before, John.
What was all that commotion I heard out here before?
Oh, that? Well, everybody decided to embrace the new mysterious stranger as their savior, taking it upon themselves to hoist him up high upon their shoulders while cheering and yelling his name.
What is his name?
Oh, well, I missed that part on account of I was worried about you and my boy. Oh, John, stand closer to me. Just hold me, John. Hold me and Tell me everything's gonna be all right.
Well, I've found that a firm pat on the back followed by a there, along with other reassuring words, can help get a person through even the most trying times. There. Everything's gonna be all right, Lizzie.
Thank you, John. Your firm yet gentle, reassuring touch and kind and handsome words have renewed my hope.
My pleasure, ma'am. That's what I do. I help folks in need. We should head out. Folks are starting to leave.
Shotgun!
Now, Junior, I was hoping to ride up front with John, driving down those bumpy roads and me wearing a tight, revealing dress and all.
No, I don't mean that. Paul's shotgun. I'm gonna go fetch it. Finally, I get to see some killing. Wrath and Majesty, here I come. Woo-hoo!
After John convinced Lizzie that everything would be all right, Axe and young Hatchet were waiting at the RV.
Oh, look. Axe and Hatchet are waiting at the RV.
Boy, howdy, John. Would you look at that? Lizzie is just as pretty as a stack of hotcakes on a Sunday morning, with butter.
Oh, I like butter on my hotcakes.
Oh, my. Blush.
Don't you fret none, John. One day, probably pretty soon, you'll find a woman just as fine and pure as my wife to call your own. She's a fine woman. I can only hope that if some tragedy should befall me unexpectedly, hopefully not any time soon, that she and my son would be lucky enough to have a good man like you, John, to look after them in my absence.
Yeah, perhaps one day. Soon. So, you folks ready to head out?
Enough with the talking. I'm gonna be a teenager by the time we get there. I'm ready for the killing to commence. Let's go! My childhood glee, combined with my impetuous nature, has overcome my usual rational, level-headed way of thinking. Try as I may, I find myself unable to subdue the spirited fit of youthful rebellion that yearns to be unleashed. Now go, dagnabbit!
Then with that spirited tirade by young Hatchet, John and the McCoys set off to join the wagon train, already in progress. Little did he know what fate had in store for him in town. He would soon find out, right after he stopped for gas, in a familiar place.
We'll be on our way as soon as I stop for gas in this familiar place. I'll be right back, everyone.
Ah, dang it, John. I hope this does not become what is known as a reoccurring theme.
Oh, hush now, Junior. That brave, handsome man has his way. Just let him be.
All right.
Oh, no, wait, now, I just got a text from the rest of the group. The new mysterious stranger suggested, they stopped for coffee. That's nice. They're waiting for us to join them.
What a great idea. I was hoping we'd have time to stop there. That's my kind of place. All right, let's head out. Again.
So, off they went, and in no time at all, found themselves under the stars. Buckaroo.
Wow, that was fast. Seemed like in no time at all we found ourselves under the stars in Buckaroo.
On the ride into town, as we were framed against the magnificent mountains and the countryside in my recreational vehicle, I could not help but notice the sky filled with dark clouds and thunder. I certainly hope that is not foreshadowing of trouble to come.
Lizzie and I are going to run next door to the general store and go ahead and get our supplies in order. Would you mind terribly taking Junior with you to the coffee bar and keeping an eye on him?
Oh, please, John. Can I come with you? I want to see the exact spot where you surrendered your dignity and honor to Dirty Steve. I ain't going to stand next to you, but I'll stay within eyesight. I don't want any of that yeller rubbing off on me. Also, I would rather not give folks the idea that I'm associated with you. No offense.
Sure, you're welcome to come along, Hatchet. Yes, sir. This is my kind of place. I better get in line.
Take a look at this, boys. They brought their women folk and their children to protect them. Oh, and looky here.
Hold that thought for just a minute, Dirty Steve. I'll be right with you. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, miss. I'll have 2 10-gallon hazelnut mocha lattes, please. Sorry, Dirty Steve. Please continue.
Well, it's that other mysterious and handsome stranger that we done encountered yesterday. Listen here, boys. We call this one Latte on account of his liberal outlook and keen sense of fashion. Did you come here to get another shirt ruined, boy? I know you ain't here to drink with the men.
John, order for John.
Why, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, sir. Next.
Well, Dirty Steve, I think you and I got off on the wrong foot the last time we met. I thought maybe you and I could sit down and discuss our differences like civilized men over a couple of delicious hazelnut mocha lattes. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. They're so good. Come on, just try one, Dirty Steve.
Now, hold on a minute, folks. I reckon I ought to take the time to explain something to y'all. The reason our friend John sounds like a cassette being played on a Walkman with half-dead batteries, and I'm not gonna bother explaining what a Walkman is. Y'all can figure that out for yourself, dang it. This is important. As I was saying, our friend John sounds this way because he is at a crossroads in his life. A point which he must stand his ground or back down. Reclaim his dignity or leave with less than he has ever had before. For the first time in his life, John felt like a man and decided it was time he acted like one. After the events that y'all are about to hear transpire, something amazing happened. For the first time in his life, people saw John as a man. I'm sorry, a handsome man. Oh, pardon me once again. I must amend myself further. They saw him as a brave and handsome man. Because you see, folks, Dirty Steve ain't never gonna willingly take that delicious latte.
I ain't never gonna...
There, see? I told you it was delicious. You didn't want to listen, and look what happened. Whose shirt's ruined now? Dirty Steve's is, that's whose.
Ah! It burns! Dang it! It burns! It's scalding hot. I'm eyes! Can't see. Is my face blistering? Feels like it's blistering. Dang it, it hurts! At least the coffee I threw at you was lukewarm. What is wrong with you? I can only imagine the terrible state of disarray my shirt must be in. Although I must admit, some of that latte did make its way into my mouth whilst my face was becoming disfigured. And it was an unexpected delight upon making contact with my taste buds. It has a rich, smooth, creamy flavor. Not too sweet, with a delicious hint of earthiness. Listen here, boys. It might be the trauma or the extreme pain causing me to go into a little bit of shock. But y'all might want to mosey on up to the counter, get y'all some. They ain't bad.
I don't appreciate you turning your back to me, Dirty Steve. I ain't done with you.
Oh, dang it. Forgive my manners. All right, then. Since I was blinded by your delicious latte, and I am unawares of your proximity to my person, I'm letting you know ahead of time. I'm turning to face you. I'm turning to face you now.
Upon turning to face John, Dirty Steve did the exact thing he was trying to avoid. Bumping into John and spilling his other latte. Well, John didn't take too kindly to that.
I don't take too kindly to that.
Oh, old Western-style coffee bar fight! Woo-hoo!
John made a choice and took a stand, and slugged Dirty Steve right in the mouth. While Dirty Steve lay there on the floor crying, John quickly found himself surrounded, not realizing just how many friends Dirty Steve had in that there coffee bar.
I don't think you realize just how many friends Dirty Steve has in this here coffee bar. Or perhaps you did not notice that you was surrounded.
Hey, other new mysterious stranger. Ain't you gonna get in there and help poor John? He can't whip-ball them fellers by himself.
Normally I would. I'm usually a big fan of old Western-style coffee bar fights. But I suddenly remembered something. I need to... gotta go!
That man Sure is mysterious. Oh, and that reminds me, I suddenly remembered that I left my sheep on. I'll be right back as quick as I can.
Speaking of sheep, that reminds me, I need to get to buy a horse to get my cell phone, see? Certainly not to flee in fear, no, but to get to my cell phone. I'll be right back.
I can't believe it. I just done witnessed 3 shades of yeller. I reckon the rest of y'all who are standing huddled in fear as a group suddenly have something else you need to do too as well. Y'all might as well have tails that you've gone and tucked between your legs. Get! Go on! Get! John, I don't like the look of these odds. I better go get Paul.
Don't bother, Hatchet. I'm determined that if I have to whoop one of them, I might as well whoop them all.
I'm gonna get Paul anyway. Paul, you need to hurry. You need to come next door. They're gonna kill John.
All right, Carl. Do I need to order another latte?
Just 'cause you got a cheap shot on Dirty Steve when he couldn't see, doesn't mean it's gonna end the same way with me.
Sure looks like it ended the same. Sounded like it too, Carl. Anyone else want a latte?
Why, you son of a...
Anyone else?
Whoa. Me and the boys were just wondering if maybe we could buy you a latte. You know, to replace the one that got spilt. We feel real bad about that. I was wondering if you'd be open to discussing this in a calm and civilized manner, sir.
As our brave and handsome hero was pondering the offer, Mr. Wellington, the deal baron, barged into the coffee shop with 4 of his men, asking what in tarnation was going on and what had happened to Carl and Steve.
What in tarnation is going on? What happened to Carl and Steve? And that other guy that works for me?
Well, I happened to him, Mr. Wellmart. You see, it's just like my dad used to tell me.
Son, spare me the overly dramatic, long-winded, self-righteous moral speech. I ain't a man impressed by words. I'm impressed by actions. And I'm quite impressed with yours, son. How's about we forget all this nonsense? And you come work for me. Whatever the McCoys are paying you, I'll double it. And buy you as many lattes as you want.
Well, I don't work for the McCoys. They're my friends. And what you're doing to them ain't right. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it because that's what I do. I help folks in need. And you know, Mr. Wellmart, to be honest, I'd rather eat my hotcakes without butter than work for the likes of you. And believe me when I say, I like butter on my hotcakes.
Oh my, blush once again. Axe, get over there and help John. He's talking about buttering these hotcakes.
I don't understand y'all's fascination with hotcakes. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good. But it seems as if there is some subtext or alternate meaning to the term that I am apparently ignorant of. Perhaps one day.
Money will buy the principles of any man. Seeing how I can't purchase yours, there must be another reason you're willing to risk your life helping these folks. Say, McCoy, your wife sure is a fine-looking woman. John, I bet you spent a lot of time getting to know her.
Yes, she is an attractive woman, and I've enjoyed my time with her and her family.
Oh, double blush.
Why, you dirty, slinking old man. How dare you? That is my wife, and this man is my friend. I'll not stand by whilst you talk about them that way. I'm with you, John. Let's finish these boys off. I'll take the fellers on the right. Y'all take the guys on the left.
Well, I know just who to start with. Look who's back on his feet. Hi, Dirty Steve.
Old Western Style Coffee Bar fight once again! Woo-hoo!
Dang it, it hurts even more the second time. I'm just gonna lay here curled up in the fetal position with my hands protecting my already face.
Let's bleed!
Yeah,
I'm a
blistered.
boy!
I'm out.
Wow, Axe. I've never seen somebody knock out 2 men with 1 punch.
John, watch your back.
Whew, that was close.
Dang it, y'all, that is enough! I've had my fill of this foolishness. Ain't none of y'all got enough sense between you to realize when you've been beat. Clearly, this handsome fella, pardon me, this brave and handsome fella, John, along with his friend Axe McCoy, had the whole lot of y'all outmatched. Mr. Wellington, you even brought in extra men and they still whooped y'all. Obviously, you don't know when to concede defeat. I declare the brave and handsome John and his friend Axe McCoy to be the victors. Now you fellas need to get to grabbing mops and brooms to clean up this dang mess you've made. George, have another hazelnut mocha latte on the house. Mr. McCoy, would you like one as well?
I reckon I'll try one, ma'am. Thank you kindly.
John, please accept my sincere apology for my previous snickering and inability to see you for the man you truly are. A good man. A good, handsome man. You feel free to come back to Under the Stars Buckaroo anytime you want, sir. And don't tell anybody, but here's a preferred Buckaroo card, preloaded with 200 Buckaroos.
Why, thank you kindly, ma'am. This sure is my kind of place.
John, that was awesome! Usually I would have more to say, but all I can think of was that was awesome. Wasn't quite Wrath and Majesty, but it'll do. Paul, you all right?
Let's get you boys home and cleaned up. Then I'll get dinner started. Maybe have a little bath. My, it has been an exciting day.
Don't you worry none. I'm through fooling barista. You hear me, McCoys? I'm speaking to the barista, but at a volume that's sufficient for y'all to hear me as well. I'm bringing in a professional. From now on, when we fight with them, the air is going to be filled with gun smoke.
Uh-oh. John may have turned a corner today, but it was a dark alley that he walked into. You know, metaphorically speaking. There's more trouble brewing for our hero. Looks like them ominous clouds were right. Who is this professional Mr. Willington spoke of? Is Axe McCoy just as oblivious to Lizzie's advances towards John as he himself is? And what about that old six-shooter? Find out in the next exciting episode of Wynabego Warrior, the tale of John Waynnabe. Wynabego Warrior, the tale of John Waynnabe, Eagle Screech, is an audio-oblivious production, written and directed by Austin Beach and Scott Phillips, produced by Austin Beach, with music by Todd Freeze, sound effects by Austin Beach and freesound.org, starring Scott Phillips as Hatchet McCoy, the new mysterious stranger, Sam the Deal Baron Wellington, and Lackey Number 1. Sarah Golding as Lizzie McCoy, Mike Jansen as Axe McCoy, Tractor Jack Johnson, and Carl Wellington. Drew Prophet as Dirty Steve Calloway and Lackey Number 2. Dane Leonardson as Pig Slop Pete Jacobs. Miranda Thomas as the barista. And Austin Beach as John Waynnabe and me, your narrator. If you enjoy our show, rate and review us on iTunes. It'll help other folks find us easier. And if you'd like to support the show, look us up at patreon.com and become a patron. Thanks for listening.